Hey guys, Lost in Heaven here, and in today's video I'm going to tell you about which country might be best for you to study in. If you do not know me, I've been living in Switzerland for past 12 years and study was a big factor for me to make my life what it is right now, and hopefully for you as well in future once you get to decide which country you're going to study in. So the first thing where you need to start with would be research. Research, because it depends what kind of profession you would like to choose or what kind of studies would you like to do. Do you want to become a doctor? Do you want to become a lawyer? Do you want to become a business guy, or you want to study in IT field, in computers and all this stuff, That is very important. Decide what you wish to do first. Now, if you're thinking about becoming a doctor, especially in Europe, with US, I do not know that much, but I think for US, you have to go through some kind of exam, and it is very expensive, and it can be very expensive to study in US. I don't think so that you have that much money if you do not do it in India to go somewhere in US and do it. But for Europe, because I know lots of doctors, or I met some doctors. One of my friend, she's a doctor as well. I think for you, if you want to come to Europe as a doctor, study in Europe, best place for you to start would be East Europe, from Romania, from Ukraine used to be a big city or a big country before, but now not anymore. Romania, Poland, these are the countries where you can do your, you can become a doctor, you do your studies, which is quite cheap. And from there, you can go to Germany, where most of the doctors come from. Now for IT, Switzerland is huge, and Germany as well. I mean, if you think you are going to go all the way to the research level, to the PhD level, master's level, then for sure you can try to get in one of the big universities in Switzerland, such as in Zurich, Geneva, Lausanne. These are and St. Gallen. These are pretty much the best university there is. But be sure it is only for specialists. If you think you're more or less one of the best student in your class, then you can apply for it. Otherwise, mostly they do not get admissions because there is a high cutoff percentage. It's quite competitive. Other thing, Germany is also there are more options in Germany. There are lots of universities, and you must have had tons of videos now because so many Indians are going to Germany, so that can be an option as well. Why I talk mostly about Germany and Switzerland, because the education is quite subsidized from the state, so you do not have to pay that much money which you used to pay, for example, in India for your graduation, or in Australia, or in UK, or in US, or in Canada. They are different countries, but Germany and Switzerland, most of the time the education is subsidized, at least from public universities. So just the money should not stop you from studying. So these are the one of the two countries which are option. Now, if you decide to study in Europe, in like maybe Germany or in Switzerland, make sure that you do not go and study in a private university, because that would be quite stupid to do, at least from my side, because you have public universities which quite literally offer all the education and free. And I was like, why would you go to the private universities? Well, of course, because most of the time maybe you do not get in a public university, and therefore your only choice is to go to a private one, but you pay for that a lot. Now, most of these companies here, once you graduate for the jobs, of course they prefer the public universities because they are better. They are, most of the time they get the students directly from there, so your chances are not that good. So if you're going for private universities, at least for Europe, for Germany and for Switzerland, I would not advise you to go via private universities. UK, US and all other Canada, that might be a bit better option for that, in case you think you can't go in a public universities in Europe. Now, these were mostly for business field, or guys who are doing this business administration stuff. I think most of you guys are into that kind of field. I think that is commerce field. I was also from commerce and economics field. For lawyers, because I also got a lot of questions in terms of lawyer, but lawyer is not the best thing to do, at least in Europe, because of the languages. There are so many languages involved that you will never be able to study, or most of the universities will not offer these kind of courses. I think UK come quite close to these kind of law studies that there is, but to be frank, I do not have enough information about that. But at least in Europe, it is quite difficult to become a lawyer if you're from non-EU countries or you do not speak one of the local languages. after that, we come to what kind of course would you like to do? Would you like to do your bachelor's or would you like to do master's? Because that also plays quite a huge role in terms of which country you're going to go and study in. Well, let's take an example. You are in your 11th standard or you're in your 12th standard, and now you're thinking about studying abroad. Most likely you will do your bachelor's or your bachelor's from abroad. Well, there are different points to consider here. In Germany, there is 15 years of education minimum required to get into bachelor's. In India, there is only 14 years. Therefore, you have to do something called Studienkolleg, which is like a 1-year preparation course in Germany, which makes you ready for the bachelor's program. Now, that is an option in Germany. In Switzerland, there is none. Therefore, to do bachelor's in Switzerland can be quite difficult. In all honesty, I do not know anyone who did bachelor's in Switzerland, because most of the students come to do their masters here, because that is quite straightforward. Once you have your bachelor's degree, you can apply for master's program all over the world. In case you do wish to do your bachelor's somewhere abroad, well, in US and in Canada, expect to pay around $30,000 to $40,000. That can be a lot, but there are advantages as well. If you do your bachelor's from these countries, well, you are quite young and it is quite easy for you to integrate into their society, which I think at a master's level might be you can be too old, and therefore people can get homesickness and all this stuff. But once you are very young for bachelor's, I think that integration plays a huge role for you to really feel home. For me, that was the case. When I was 18, I came here. It was easier for me to settle down here because I could integrate well. Okay, if you're going to UK or to Canada, that's pretty much like mini Punjab or mini India. So for that, you do not have to worry about integration because it is quite easy. There you get all your food. You can get lots of people from your maybe from your hometown as well. This is my other point. You need to know what would you like to do once you graduate. Would you like to study in the same country? Would you like to do your PhD, or would you like to stay there, or would you like to come back? Because that also plays a crucial role. Switzerland is quite difficult to stay after study, because in Switzerland you just get a 6-month after study visa. Germany, you get an 18-month study visa. I think for UK also now, for all the university graduate, you can stay there for way longer and try to search a job. But once you get a job, you get a job permit for like 3-4 years. Other than that, for Canada, it's quite easy to stay as well, US as well, and Australia. That's why most of the students go there. So now let's see, we have all these factors that we need to keep in mind, but straight away the question to me would be, if I would be in your place right now, if I'm a person living in my country and I would like to study abroad, and I just finished my school maybe right now, and now I'm thinking, where should I go? Which country should I choose? Where should I go and study exactly? From my side, based on my experience now, I would literally say it depends. Simple. From my side, it will depend. But if I see what I do, I was as I said, a graduate of economics, commerce. For me, I would either, if I have the money to pay for, I would like to go to Canada, Toronto. There is where my sister went. I mean, I was here, but I didn't wanted her to come here because I knew it will not fit her, and of course her studies as well. Therefore, she went to Canada. It is quite easy to settle down. Their salaries are not that bad. You can get your own home maybe in 5 to 6 years. So all of these things really play a huge role. And of course, the language is English. So you will not really have an issue there. You need to pay a bit extra because it can be a bit expensive. But I think if you can do that via education loan or something, or you can come up with that amount of money, Canada would be the first country for me right now to go and study in. We do not have the money, and you kind of would be fine to study in a different country, then Germany is the next option, I would say, for you, or would be for me, because of course I just need to show a little bit of amount in my bank account, and then I can go and study in Germany, and after that maybe I can stay there. Language wise, it might take a bit time. Germans are not really that open when it comes to social life, etc. But there are lots of Indians, so I do not think that should be an issue, at least in the Berlin. But if you go and live in somewhere in a small village, then it might be an issue in terms of socializing, because I think still it's a culture which is not that open to outside, or to someone who does not speak German as well, and their mentality can be a bit different. That's what I have not lived in Germany, so I do not know. But based on my experience that I've seen or I've talked with people, if I'm a specialist, I'm an IT specialist, and I'm pretty good in the job what I do, and I think I would not like to live in India, and I would like to go outside then, and would like to research my study. I'm in biopharma or some of these specialist kind of jobs, then I would choose Switzerland. Most likely I will do my masters and would like to do my PhD here. That is quite a good option if I am that intelligent and I'm working on these specialist research based education or a job. That would be my third option. Of course, there are lots and lots of countries. There is Japan, there is Australia, there is New Zealand, there is Sweden, so many countries. But yeah, of course, the more options you have, the more confusion you will have it in your mind. Therefore, make sure you put all these things in a paper. Let's just say, make a list and then choose according to that. From my side, these would be three simple solutions. These three simple options. If you do not want to think too much. Other than that, of course, based on your research, there are plenty of countries. So hope you like this video. If you have any comments, write it on the comment section. Let me know what you think about what I said today, or if you want to help someone else trying to decide which country they would like to go and study in, go ahead and write it on the comment section. I will see you in my next video, hopefully outside. Right now I'm just chilling at home, but yeah, till then, have a great day and see you soon.